Hello and welcome to Brocky Mountain Movies. I'm your host, Rocky Mountain Brock, and today we talk about Wonder Woman 1984, or as I like to call it, the sequel to Suicide Squad. I called it that because this feels like the movie that should have come out after Suicide Squad. It is just ripe with a ton of problems that were kind of indicative of that era. You had Batman v Superman, then you get Suicide Squad. This feels like the Wonder Woman movie that would have come out afterwards. But I'm getting ahead of myself. What is the story? Well, Wonder Woman has now lived through about 60, 70 years of her life, and is now in 1984. But the evil Maxwell Lord attains a dream stone that grants wishes, but also takes away something in return. Max, getting a hold of the dream stone, makes a wish so that he can be the one that grants wishes. And there's also the character of Cheetah, who's done fairly awkwardly. But Wonder Woman's wish is the wish to have her love Chris Pine come back. And that is sort of what compelled me to come see it. I figured that at those two together going on an adventure, that's kind of all you really need to have. But the character dies again. You brought back a character from the last movie just so you could kill him off again. I'm sorry, that immediately kills the movie, and the movie does very little to get itself back. This movie's pretty famous for its failures. One is how they bring Chris Pine back, which was unnecessarily complicated. Then you get the final catastrophe and of him being able to grant everyone's wishes, which would definitely screw the world up, isn't a general problem. Or at the very least, there's no time clock on it. There's no big thing you have to stop. It's just a bunch of chaos, really. And of course, the heavy-handed morality of it all. As in, there's this idea that the truth will come to light no matter what happens. It's not done with any sort of humanity or understanding of the subject material. It's just sort of a moral just to be moral, and not something that the character herself believes in. And speaking of which, Gal Gadot is just sleepwalking through the entire film. I know she's supposed to be Wonder Woman and is famous for that, but even in her own role, she's kind of sleepwalking through it. And that's a good summation of the entire film, as almost no actor knows what they're doing. It's like they're given a script, but they're not given any direction as to what's going on, or how to really do it. Oh, and also there's the problem that the movie takes about an hour to get started, because there's no urgency in the actual plot. It takes them a while to get it to the whole the dream cat grants wishes, and once all the wishes are granted, you're 40 minutes in, and then it takes another 20, 30 minutes for that to be a problem. In fact, Wonder Woman and Chris Pine are just hanging out together, and Wonder Woman's like, oh wait, we should probably look into this. Look into how you're back and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, that is kind of important. And then they, of course, spend another 10, 15 minutes doing stuff, and then they get to the actual plot. From a writing, directing, acting standpoint, it's a hot mess. So, best and worst. I guess if I had to point out the best part, it would be the chemistry between Wonder Woman and Chris Pine, and a few of the flying scenes are pretty good, especially when they bring in the invisible jet. But again, a few fun things aren't enough to save it. If I had to pick out the worst thing in a pretty messed up movie, I would have to say, again, the heavy-handed morality. That a certain moral is supposed to be the be-all, end-all to everything, and it's not even that good a moral. It doesn't feel like something people would say, or even fully believe in. There's a difference between a lesson, a rule, or a creed, and whatever this is. I can't, for the life of me, remember what all is said. Spoken with so little passion that it won't make an impact on you. So, final score for Wonder Woman 84, 3.4 and 2 thumbs down. And it sucks because, as after the last movie, I was looking forward to this one. I'm Rocky Mountain Brock, and God bless.